Hello and welcome to another episode of the Dada's Show, coming to you straight from the Boma Hotel here in Nairobi. I'm your host, Ashiko Mbune. The Dada's Show is an inclusion and an equality program that focuses on the issues that are near and dear to women, especially in the context of the 2020 general elections. As usual, we encourage you to ask questions, give us your comments and your feedbacks, and we're always happy to hear from you and what your take is. Women have demonstrated political prowess since time immemorial, in the likes of Cleopatra. Closer home in pre-independence times, we had the likes of Mekatilili Wamenza and Wango wa Makeri, who were able to throw away the yoke of patriarchy and be able to claim their seat rightfully on the table amongst the men. In post-independence Kenya, we have the likes of the Nobel laureate, the late Wangari Maathai, Honorable Mother Karua, Charity Ngilu, and other women of steel who have bore against all odds to take them place and inspire the future generation of women. During the balanced political participation and power sharing between men and women in decision making is the internationally agreed target set in the Beijing Declaration. And that has also brought forth the emergence of the two-third gender rule. Now, here on the Dada's Show, we strongly believe that women participation is very crucial, especially in matters gender-based violence, childcare, and other things that involve us women. But why isn't the participation still not at par? So joining me today is the right people to actually answer these questions. This amongst the group and the audience here, we have aspiring members of parliament, be it in the MCA, the women's rep capacity, and on my panel here, we have the same too. So we are going to dig deeper into this issue and find out what exactly are the issues that are being barriers, are holding women back from participating fully in the political arena. So before we get to that, let's have a look at this feature.
It was in 2013 when Bina Maseno plunged herself into politics with the hope of getting elected and in turn transformed the lives of her fellow citizens. She shares her experience.
My name is Bina Maseno. I am the Executive Director of Badili Africa. Badili Africa was born out of my experience running for political office. As a 22-year-old, I was in my first year in campus, and the 2013 elections were fast approaching, and I jumped in the game. And as a result, I lost my scholarship, but I learned a lot. So the experiences, the challenges, that is what actually contributed to founding Badili Africa.
Through its skillful approach, has taken up the role of getting more women into political offices at the grassroots level by targeting the voter.
What we do at Badili Africa is to cultivate the ground for female aspirants, because at the end of the day, we have organizations that actually work towards strengthening the leadership capacity of female political aspirants. At Badili, we do the work of cultivating the ground, because at the end of the day, you need voters. So our work is majorly to ensure that that female voter understands the value women bring when they occupy positions of leadership. That grassroots woman, that mama mboga, that chama woman understands critically the value women bring when they actually occupy positions of leadership.
Chances of a woman to be heard are apparently dependent on how she appears, among other things, and as a result, Badili Africa advises women on how to best navigate the political arena.
Politics has a look. Politics has a hairstyle. Politics has a language, and it is male. When you show up, let's say with your red lipstick, guys are like, Sasa, who you slay queen? Like, what is this slay queen trying to tell us? And we're trying to show and to push back against women toning down on their femininity to be heard. We're encouraging women to just show up.
As a well-thought-out strategy, it was critical for Badili Africa to create awareness on the importance of voting in women by ensuring that they target different professional backgrounds at the university level.
Political Spurs is our dialogues, our civic dialogues that merge beauty and makeup artistry with actually political conversations. And we do this especially in the universities. because we noticed initially when we used to have civic dialogues, the people would come to our session, and let's say people were doing international relations or political science, and we wanted to attract that young woman who does fashion and design, engineering, business management, who does not really care about politics, or is not even in a political space, or might not actually understand how politics intersect with her day-to-day lives.
It is said that information is power, and Badili Africa is making sure that the voter is well educated on matters concerning them and the elective offices in order to make informed decisions through voting.
And we noticed when we began having glam sessions and combining that with a political conversation, how does politics intersect with your hair? How is gender-based violence political in this country? How is family planning political in this country? How is even sex political in this country? How is giving birth political? How is education a political issue in this country? How is where you live and the poor sanitation around that area a political issue in this country? So we noticed when we had different strategies, especially our political spars, which is the glam sessions combined with political dialogues, now we began getting different audiences.
As Bina Maseno rightly put it, the women agenda and matters concerning women will be better addressed if only they themselves are in the rightful positions of decision-making.
When it comes to the women in leadership agenda, the reason at Badili Africa we are building a critical mass of young women and grassroots women who understand the women political leadership agenda in this country is to ensure we have more women elected in office. Because at the end of the day, that is how we're going to ensure, as women, our priorities and our needs, our concerns, our opinions are factored in and are catered to and are prioritized by the leadership of the day.
Our leadership role has no gender identity, and this was articulated by Maseno as she appealed to voters to avoid gender discrimination while exercising their democratic right, but rather concentrate on the competence of each political individual.
Let's not discriminate anyone on the basis of gender, but let's look at actually what they are able to do. Look at people's competencies and not ask them questions like, are you married? Do you have a child? Yet those are questions they would not actually ask a man.
As for the Badili Africa founder, Bina Maseno, she eagerly looks forward to the day that she will see a Kenyan woman sitting in the top office.
I actually look forward to the day we will have a female president. In this country, the bulk of the voters are actually women. And I know at some point we will get to actually having a female president. I only hope I will actually live to see it.
So welcome back. Joining me to discuss this issue are individuals, like I mentioned, working hard to change the narrative for the better, women aspirants and in a democracy and good governance champions. Kajimba, all the way from Migori, vying for the women's rep position. I also cannot fail to introduce my fantastic audience, completely lovely women of diverse and men too. I'm very excited to see that we have some male representation in the house today. Wanaume oye! There's also a very key person in the group who is known as Lena Mati, who is the former vice chairperson at the UON School of Law. Especially when we are talking matters mentorship, I believe her opinion and her insight will be very key. So let us start our questions today in regards to women participation. Of course, my first question will go to Madam Norah. In your expert opinion, what is the state of women participation between the past general elections and the ones before that? From the grassroots all the way till the presidential landscape.
Okay. What we have seen is a tremendous progress in terms of women's participation in the political process, right before independence, post-independence, and even after the 2010 constitutional dispensation. And in each and every election cycle, we have been seeing more women coming up, breaking the institutional, cultural, and economic barriers to take up positions that were previously meant for men, especially after the 2010 Constitution. We have seen women coming up very strongly after the two-third gender rule that was passed. In 2013, we didn't have any senatorial candidate who was elected directly. But in 2017, we had 3 senators who had been nominated earlier in 2013, but they got directly elected by the people to represent them. Then also in 2017, we also saw tremendous progress. We saw women taking up gubernatorial positions. And before the 2010 Constitution, we saw that there are women who are coming up even to take up presidential, aspiring for the presidential position. But then they have not, they were not being taken seriously, actually, even by the society and by the parties. And right now we can see that the likes of Martha Karua are being taken seriously. They are also being put at the discussion table regarding who is going to be the deputy president. So we are going to see in 2022, I think we are going to see a better outcome, and we'll have, I feel like we can even have a deputy president, and this is going to be a pace-setting experience for Kenya. Then I've also seen parties have come up with affirmative action to reduce on the nomination fees, which has been too expensive, and it was locking out most women to participate. So right now, parties have cut down on nomination fees for women, and more women have come up to go for the elective positions. And I know that this 2022, we are going to break the record in history by having more women into the elective positions.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Speaking of the limitations that female aspirants go through, especially in the political arena, Madam Kajimba, in your opinion, what are some of these barriers?
Talking of the barriers that women face during to get into leadership, one of them is gender-based stereotyping and discriminatory attitudes, and also cultural norms that we have been subjected to, and also with the perception that politics is meant for the male. So these are the kind of barriers that we face. Like, for example, in my case, vying as a woman rep in Migori, and I'm not yet married. So with the cultural norms, they feel like when you are a woman and you're not married, you don't stand fit to lead. And these are kinds of cultural practices or traditions that are lagging us behind as women, more so in politics. And also when I talk of discrimination, like, for example, you get to the podium to speak to your people or to influence them. The first thing is that they look down upon you as a woman, because not much attention will be given to you as a woman as will be given to a man. So these are kind of barriers that may discourage you as a woman to get into leadership. When I talk of stereotyping, they come to ask like there's some roles or some leadership that they only need men. Like, for example, if you tell them that you want to become an MP, in my area, if I come to say I want to become an MP, they'll tell you that that is meant for the men. You can go for something else because women are not meant for that. And like on my case, I would have gone for an MP, but looking at my people, the culture of my people, the first thing they'll ask me about my being married. The fact that I'm not married, I stand like 80% chances of not getting it, but maybe 20. But if it were like I'm a male going to vie there, they would have not asked me if I'm married or not, because they'll ask you if in case of anything, where are we going to do the events or practice, as in the eatings and what. Like in my place, people eat as somebody who is standing to be an MP, you have to be cooking for those people who will be coming to your place to support you, you know. So they'll ask you, are we going to do this from your paternal or maternal home, or where are we going to do it? So it's a challenge for us, the women. So if you're not married, you are like an outcast. So this is a barrier into leadership. You may be having the skill set, you may be that brain that is needed in parliament to articulate the issues of our people. But by the fact that you are not married, by the fact that you are a woman, you are being looked down upon. So these are the kind of barriers that the government need to look onto when we want women into power. Another thing that we cannot shy away from is the fact that we are being told as women to take positions, but there is no proper structure or framework that is put in place that is going to enable us as women get into that competition with men. You find that most parties, they are much affiliated to our male counterparts. It's like a male-dominated structure, where the males are much considered than the female. An example in ours, I don't want to say which party, you find that mostly the female were being called to step down for the males, you know, which was not really right, or which is not really right. Yet we female are fighting to get our space into leadership. So these are the barriers that we as female are facing into getting into leadership. So there are things or approaches or structures that needs to be put in place that are going to accommodate the female, so that we can get that number that is needed in parliament, so that when decisions are being made, at least our voices too can be heard. Thank you.
That is well said, Madam Kajimba. Yeah, you had mentioned earlier, Norah, in regards to what are the initiatives that political parties have taken up to encourage, or what are some of the issues that you're experiencing when you go back to your mother political parties? So that's a two-part question. So would want to start, it's always good to celebrate what are the initiatives that have been put in place and what are the issues that you also experience. Perhaps Madam Joguna can take the issues.
2022 seems to be a good year for the women aspirants. All the parties across have cut on the nomination fees for women. Like in my party, Jubilee Party, women were paying half the nomination fee compared to their male aspirants. And that is good. It has made more women aspire for the women that, for the seats that have previously been set aside as a preserve for men, from the MCA seat to the MP and Senate up to the gubernatorial seat. And also, with the current coalitions, the coalition discussions that are ongoing, both in Azimio and Kenya Kwanza, we have seen the topic on who is going to be the running mate for the presidential flag bearers. And at least women are being, we are seeing discussions about women coming, being considered for the presidential flag, for the deputy president position. And that is quite a good thing for the women. But still, it is still a challenge for the women. Most parties, the way Dorothy has said, they put women in a certain corner. Like for myself, I'm vying for a senatorial seat in Nairobi County. And when discussions are going on regarding consensus and direct tickets, I've been called in boardrooms to actually step down for my male counterparts. And it is just through the pressure that I'm using through the women support groups and the civil society spaces to ensure that I get that position. And I know that it is the same kind of challenge that women across the country are facing. Right now in this coalition, women are really being left out. The women vying for these other seats, leave alone the presidential. Actually, Martha Karua wanted to be a presidential candidate in 2022, but you can see from the coalition settings, the highest she can go is the deputy president position. And it is the same for these other seats. Tunapangwa tu kwa space fulani. Where step aside, we will consider you for a nomination seat. Step aside, we will put you in a certain government appointment. It is still a challenge, and I think it needs to be addressed with the urgency it deserves.
Okay. Madam Jogona, what would you like to see the political parties do in the future to encourage women participation?
For me, I would like in the future, the political parties should recognize we as women, because as women we have the leadership. Kama kitambo venye ilikuwa inaambiwa kazi ya wamama ni jikoni. We are leaders and we have leadership in us. So, like the party which I am in, the UDA party, they told us they are going to give us the seats as women. They do that according to the Constitution of Kenya, which we are looking forward to see whether they will manage to give us those seats. So, ningetaka hata kusema pia waweze pia hata chama zingine walicognize wa mama pia. Juu wa mama wako na ile uongozi wako nayo ndani yao. Na saa zingine unapata our opponents, kama our male opponents, wanakuja kutudhurumu. Inakuwa sasa sisi wa mama tunadhurumiwa kila wakati. Sababu umesimama kama mama, juu hawaoni kama unaweza kuwa kiongozi. So ningetaka pia hata kwa IBC na kulicognize pia na appreciate IBC venye wali reduce mpaka the payments ya wanawake ikuwe the half price. Also in the UDA party, as we were paying 50, but for women waka reduce mpaka 25. So hiyo ikakuwa at least wanatumotisha kama wamama, wanatupea hiyo motisha kusimama kama wamama. Kwa hivyo ningependa kusema waendelee tu hivyo, hata hizo parties zingine waendelee tu kuempower wamama. Kama kuna kitu I don't know, somebody said if you empower a woman, you empower the whole community. So ningefurahia tu wakitu empower, because mama ndiye anashikilia kila kitu. Mama ndiye ako na uongozi. Hata familia nyingi huwa hazisimami bila mama. Kwa juu mama ndiye amebeba kila kitu. Mama anaweza fanya mambo mingi at once.
Honorable Kajimba, what would you tell a lady right now who's watching and has intentions or plans to vie for a political seat in the future?
I'll begin by saying that as a woman, you need to know your powers. You are powerful, and never be discouraged by what another person tells you. Have confidence of yourself, and then always know that what a man can do, a woman can do best. So never be discouraged by what they tell you, never be discouraged by what they say, but be courageous, face the world, because if for anything, we the women, we were created very stronger than those men. Looking at the new of the past, you'll find that women can withstand a lot of things, but the male-dominated nini cannot. We women, we are created by God very strong people, and without us, even those male can never be. It is us who should be showing that example or exemplary kind of leadership to them, because they are defeated. With them, they look at politics in terms of war or conflict. But with us, we look at politics in terms of affection, compassion, and also trying to be charismatic. So all women never fear, all women never be afraid. Know that we have the power, that if we come together as women, we are going to change the face of this world, the face of this nation, and also the perception that has always been put on us. We are going to make it better. So never give up, never give up. You are in the right track, and with the help of the government and the structures that are put in place, we are getting there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's a nice place to actually go on a break. As we chew on that, we'll be right back in a short while. Welcome back. We had a very good interactive session during the break, and numerous comments and questions have come up. So I'll hand it over to the audience to actually take charge of this panel. We have a gentleman in the audience. So Dada, as we mentioned, is an inclusion equality program. So this is not just for women, run by women. We want it for everybody who has any interests in issues that affect women, especially in respect to the 2022 general elections. So we'll start off with Mr. Donald Juma. What is your question?
Thank you so much, and I'm happy to be part of this team. We have given, I want to challenge, the question goes to Madam Senator Faith Norah Lukosi, talking about the two-tiered gender rule. We have given two-tiered gender rule, and we have women rep seat position. Now, what else? We have seen like Marsabit, Isholo. They are only men who have come out strongly for these positions. As we talk about the two-tiered gender rules, what the women are doing in Isholo also to be in the position.
Okay. So I believe that's a question to Faith, and I think Donald is asking, in the areas where the women do not come out strongly, what would be the appropriate action to be taken towards that? If the men are willing to fill in these positions, because these positions have to be filled, what will be done about that? The next question, please, we will come back to that. The next question is by Faith Ken.
So my name is Faith Judith Ken. I come from Igori. Mine is not a question, so it's a comment, an addition to what Honorable Kajimba said. The limitations or the challenges we women face. There is sexism. You go to our office or you approach somebody maybe just for mentorship, but what he sees in you is nothing more than. So that has been a very great challenge. Yeah, then another one, also less developed network structures for women. Most of the women, I don't know, the NGOs or what, the women support groups, the only thing they do for aspirants and women leaders, you'll be just placed in a certain hotel room in the name of mentorship, then giving 2,000 shillings. What we need funding. Mentorship, we are already mentored. We are being mentored with everybody, from the president, from men, our husbands. So what we need is funding. Then the leaders, the women leaders. We say women, we are our own enemies. Another woman is not happy when you're taking lead. So with the issue of experience in party, I don't know how I can put it. You find that you're told you've not been loyal to party. I've never understood what they mean by being loyal to party. You get, so you're being told you're not, I don't know, you've not been into party for even 10 years, so you can't go for that seat. With me, I believe in myself, and I'm out to go for a particular seat or to lead a certain organization. I know what I'm capable of doing, but when you're told you have no enough skills, because maybe they've not been seeing you shouting or dancing on top of cars as they expected.
Thank you so much, Faith. Perhaps, Honorable Kajimba, you can take Faith's question stroke comment, and then we'll move on to you, Madam Norah.
Okay, concerning Faith's question, it is true most of the female leaders, for example, those who are taken to be mentored, they always misuse them. In fact, the way she's putting it, like you may be called for mentorship or you may be looking for a job, yeah? And instead of you being given that job, this person takes you as a toy, you know? It's like you are exchanging yourself with whatever you want, you know? And she's talked also of loyalty, the definition of this loyalty. Some take advantage by that fact, which they come to mean loyalty is like, maybe if one of the leaders approach you, you have to accept what they want, of which if you don't, you are not loyal, you know. And this gets to the extent like giving yourself to them, you know, maybe in exchange of that will show you that you are loyal. Another thing that she's talked about is about we women being enemies to our own women, as in to our growth as women or getting into leadership as women. And with her example, I can tell you, like, I also faced almost the same thing when I was there campaigning on the ground. Like an opponent who is also a woman had to send his own husband to come and seduce me by the fact that they know I'm a single woman, and this was aimed as destroying my reputation. The intention is not really known what this woman was up to. Sending your own husband to come and seduce me to bring that bad public image of me so that that can bring me down. So we find that women, we don't really truly love the development or the rising of another woman. So there's need for we women to support our other women so that they can rise into leadership. I've seen many, not only my case, when I was in the field, there was this woman leader who wanted to be a governor. For her to get to the podium became a problem. She was being mistreated down here, being pinched, being beaten by the supporters of this male leader, you know. As a woman, I really felt it. I almost cried. But being a woman, there's no way I could go there, down there, to help her. You get me? So, in fact, after that, you find other women who are now supporting this male leader started abusing her, you know. So I really felt, and I was like, what have become of us women fighting our own instead of supporting our own? Even if you don't want to support that person to be a leader, but when it comes to physical harassment, you need to be there for a fellow woman because she doesn't have the strength that that man has. You know, so we women, we need to think twice if we really want to grow to leadership, and the government are really trying hard to put us to leadership, yet we are also trying to pull other women down not to get there.
So that is definitely a call to action for the women, because I do, we've had it time and time again where we are being referred as to our own worst enemies. But there's also some encouraging news where we talk about certain female caucus that have been formed that support each other across all the political parties. You know, across it does not matter as long as the commonality that they have is that you're a woman. So it is not all bleak. Yes, there are women who are responsible for the downfall of their fellow women, but at the same time, there are women who are also building each other up, especially us here on Dadas. So take the next question. Norah?
Okay, thank you so much. Before I go to my question, I would like to also add to what Honorable Dorothy has said, and Faith, in terms of women uplifting each other. I am a member of a party, and also I'm part of the Women League within the party. And as a young woman, young women have always felt there is a disconnect in these caucuses. We do not have proper structures as women for intergenerational mentorship. So like right now, I'm happy to see in the audience there is a young girl here. We have older women in the audience, and we also have the mid young women like myself. And we don't have a proper structure of actually mentoring the future young ladies. And myself, I've been a victim within the Women League, because the older women always create a fence. There is a barricaded wall for the younger women to come up and be uplifted within those structures, and we need to work around something in regard to that. Back to my question about other measures that need to be put in place to support women. What women need, apart from the 2/3 gender rule, what we want is just a fair playground, an enabling environment for women, because we have the capacity, we know we can deliver the position, just as our male counterparts, if we are on a fair playing ground. And the main challenges that need to be addressed, of course, first of all, it's the issue of intimidation, harassment, and character assassination, which parties and even the IEBC, the responsible institutions, have not put in any measures to address this. And then the issue of financial capacity. Most women are incapacitated because of financial muscle, because everything you have to do in politics involves money. And that makes women really shy away from politics. So if we could have a fund, maybe a revolving fund to support women who have the potential to deliver the position, so that they are not really left behind because of finances, but then they are at a level ground where they can compete fairly with their fellow male counterparts. Then another thing is the societal structures, the societal barriers, which Dorothy has, she has elaborated on it. The societal barriers have really been putting women back, especially the women in the rural areas who are vying for seats. I think they face more challenges than the women who are in urban centers, because in the rural areas, it is all about everything. You are stereotyped, how you walk, whether you're married, what you do, everything. Utapikia watu chai wapi, you know. People just have so much, and they also have that perception that women are supposed to be submissive. So you cannot really, you're not supposed to be out there, outgoing, interacting with men. But in the cities, like here in Nairobi, people look more at what you have to offer. What is your manifesto? What are you what are you promising them? What will you deliver? So the women in the rural areas need more support.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. We're going to move to the next question. Macrina Cheboy.
Thank you so much. My name is Macrina Cheboy. I would love to highlight what Ms. Kajimba mentioned. Of all the challenges she talked about, one that really actually touched me is the one about family and not being married and all that. You see, there's a case where we have double standards here, where when you're married, you're told that you can't leave family responsibilities and join politics. And when you're not married, again, you're told you can't just, where will we come and drink tea? Where are we going to, you know? You don't have a family, so you don't know what it means to be responsible. So, and you find that there's a sort of double standard in the political field. So my question would actually go to you, the ladies in the panel. Most of you have actually mentioned that you come from parties where the party leaders are actually men. So have you guys actually thought of starting a women-led party where you don't have to no longer talk about the challenges you face with men, but how you can actually empower yourself in a women political party. Because as Norah here has mentioned, there's actually a gap between, I've served as a university student leader, there's a gap between finishing university as a student leader and actually joining politics. So there's no proper mentorship. You have to know who, and it's quite unfortunate Kenya has not had a female president or a vice president for that matter. So we don't really have like, somebody, an icon we can look up to. So have you guys actually thought about starting that so that it can be smooth for us as young women, and also help us to get the right mentorship and also attract funding that will help us? And maybe that's how we can change the case, because if you have to see change, you have to start that change ourselves. Thank you.
I love that. If you want to see change, you have to start that change itself. Roslyn is going to tackle the question on mentorship. But before that, when we delve into a political party led by women, so we'll have the issue on mentorship being picked up by Roslyn, and Madam Jogona is going to take on the political party issue.
Okay, the question was why I did not take the women party. There is like the Mother Karua's party, and at that time Mother Karua was vying for, she was saying she will vie for president, and at that time she dropped. So I decided to go with the UDA party because of I look at the ideas, the ideologies, and the agendas in the UDA. So I found myself very capable with the UDA party, and that's why I decided to run with the UDA ticket, moreover than the Mother Karua's party. So, as a UDA candidate, as a women aspirant in UDA, I followed the ideology in the UDA, because as they started, walianza na kusema watainua wamama, and they wanted more women in the party. So I decided to vie in that party and be one, and also to make other women there in the grassroots level to understand that a woman can do. If given a chance, we can do. So I vied, and according to my area where I'm vying from, we have hakuja kuwa na women aspirants. So imekuwa hata ni challenge kwangu. And in the social medias, the insult, the abuse, they are all over. Because hakuna mwenye ashaijitokeza kama mama, avai kama mama kwa hiyo area. Na sasa nikaamua wacha mimi kwanza ni vai, ndio at least nipe wa mama nguvu na nionyeshe pia wanaweza wakaread, na si lazima chama ikuwe ni ya mama, but ingekuwa hata ni wa mama tuweze kushikiriana, tuweze kusaidiana, ingekuwa ni vizuri sana, tukue empowered, because a woman, what a woman needs, anatakanga tu kukua empowered. Ukiempower mama, ukimempower, at least anakuwa na ile nguvu ya kuendelea na ile kazi, because saa zingine unapatanga hiyo leadership iko ndani yako, but vitu zingine zinafanya unagongwa tu, unarudi, unakosa kuendelea, sababu watu hawaoni kama unaweza make jue bado ni mama. The fact remains you are a woman. Hiyo ndio inayokuanga the challenge kubwa sana. So tungekuwa na wamama wengi kama sasa hivi venye kama Tanzania tuko na a president who is a woman. I think there Tanzania watakuwa wana recognize wa mama kuliko hata Kenya. Lakini hata nashukuru sana Kenya venye hata tuko na our CJ who is a woman. I think as women tutakuwa tunarecognizewa na tutakuwa mambo zetu zinakuwa zinaenda vizuri sababu tuna mama pale. Because a woman feels akona ile heart, akona ile upendo na akona ile uchungu, kitu kifanyika akona ile uchungu. So atakuwa na feel mama mwenzake akidhulumiwa, atakuwa na stand kwa yeye. Sasa hii tumeacha kukua enemies, wacha venye already said, we are not enemies of our own. Sasa hii tumekuwa ni friends. Juu nikipata mahali hata nipate ni mama anaendelea as a woman in leadership, nafurahia hiyo sana. Juu naona pia yeye anaweza akanisaidia more over kuliko mwanaume. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That is well put, Madam Jocelyn.
Okay, my name is Roslyn Adhiambo Chieng, aspirant Embakasi Central constituency for a member of parliament. I'm an asset in Embakasi Central. I've been vying for the MCA position. I decided to upgrade, and I'm moving so well because even in the opinion poll, the last one, I'm the woman who is leading there, and I'm so proud of it. My voters, keep it up. I'll remain with you. For the Dada show and the Voter Dada, they have mentored women. They have been really pushing for women agenda. I just want to encourage them to bring more women on board so that we can bring good leadership to our country. And again, I just want to say the women who have been there, like Millie Odhiambo, Martha Karua, Charity Ngilu, they have done a good job. They have been encouraging women. Like last time I saw when Gladys Wanga was launching her bid for governor, they went there and they stood with her. That's a very good encouragement. And I just want to call all women, let us stand as a team, as one family, because we don't have a party. Our party is women party is called women. And we don't have a party. Our party is women. So we must sell agenda for women, and we must encourage all women to come up and work as a team so that we can deliver more seats come 2022.
So, Judy?
Thank you so much. My name is Judith Oyo, an aspirant, Korokocho Ward, an MCS aspirant, a former student leader, president at Kiriri Women's University, and also still working with Young Women's Leaders Connect. That means I'm so passionate to lead women leadership, because right from high school to university, being a leader in high school and also being the president in Women's University, that comes also to my comment that we as leaders, as women who are still leaders, we also need to recognize the young leaders who are coming up, and also recognize the institution that are based women are female-based. That's why I've come to your attention that me, as I was the president of Kiriri Women's University, I noted women are passionate into getting into leadership, but how do they rise there? And also as women aspirants, you say that you are aspiring for a seat. Have you reached down to these young women, or have you reached down to these women who are willing to support you, or you are just here saying that you are an aspirant, and maybe let us talk of a Senate aspirant. How much have you done, or how big have you tried reaching women, coming down, reaching women in the ground, so that they can know that there's our fellow woman who is also vying in this big seat? As a women rep, have you reached to these young women and also try and motivate them that they can still support their fellow women who are in various seats? Because now in politics, they measure on numbers. Women, we are a bigger number. But if you're not reaching out to the same women so that you can give them the awareness that you exist, makes it harder for you to stand in that higher position, or to even hold yourself that you are a woman and you want to sit. Let us be women who are aspiring for seat and also capable of reaching the other women for support. Because we can't say that we need the political parties to support us, and yet us on our own, we are not doing it. To reach other women, to add the numbers into our kikapus. So you won't be given that position if you don't have numbers, because in politics it's all about numbers. So it all comes to us women. Let us try and make a space to reach these women, to reach this bigger population, so that we can add to numbers, in that if in any case they want to let us they want to push us away from us vying, they also have to see the multitude that is at your back, because you will disappoint people, and people are already backing you, so they won't get any opportunity to tell you to step down. because you have the numbers. And also in the matters of security, while I was campaigning back in Korokocho, somebody followed me right to where I'm staying. I had to look for a way, a Panya route, so that I can reach at my home, because there's a higher rate of insecurity. Because if somebody feels that you are a young woman, you are not yet married, and financially you are not that capable, so they feel like they have to to look at any way that they can reach you, or even create the fear in you. Us as women who are vying in slum area, that let us say in Korogosho, that has been known of insecurity. We need also protection right from those villages, because the insecurity is so high. And I'm so happy for the women who have come here. I'm also coming from Migori. I'll also call people back from Migori that women also need to be empowered. Thank you so much, Dada, for the platform, and I hope next time you'll add us more minutes.
Thank you so much, Judith. Like she has said, cannot fail to reiterate. Politics is a game of numbers. It's important for women not to sit and say they don't have any support, but it's important for them to network amongst themselves to create a crowd. Final words before we break and we say kwaheri for the day. I want to hear from Lena, who, what has been your main takeaway as a young lady? What has been your main takeaway from the conversations that we have had today?
My name is Lena Mati. I'm the former Vice Chairperson, University of Nairobi School of Law. And my main takeaway is I have felt a bit of disconnect between the senior and the young ladies who are in politics. For instance, let me start with this. It has been proven that the best time to train a child is when they are young. That is the right time to instill in them morals and the right behavior. That is the same thing. I want to talk about the young women under 25. Those are the young women, particularly in the campus. They are the toddlers in the political field. They're the young people who have who can best be instilled the political morals right at this time. We may shout and say about political empowerment, women empowerment, but I believe that as the young people under 25, we have seen it. We have seen women who are trailblazers. We have seen women go through the political path. We have seen women who have become the vice presidents across the world. We have seen women who have gone far in their political journey. Us, we are the people who will change the narrative. If you look at Rwanda, 60% of the political positions are occupied by women. What is being done by this country that you're not doing is the fact that young, or rather senior politicians, are coming down to empower the young politicians. They have talked about political mentorship. They have been mentored by IDA. They have been mentored by their political parties. But you as a person, you as Dorothy, you as Norah, who have you mentored? Who are you walking the journey with? It is not just enough to say that, you need to be powerful, you need to understand yourself. You also need to guide us. Let me tell you something. If today I am also doing makeup for someone who is, for a lady who is so strong in politics, who is a mentor, I will get so inspired. I will be like, I want to be like this young person. So it is not just enough to advise us. Please walk with us the journey. It is a tough journey. And us, especially the women, the young women in campus politics and everything, we need that. We just don't need the words. We need to be mentored. We need people to walk with us the journey. Someone trusted in you. You come to us and tell us, please trust me as a woman, but do you trust us back when you get to those positions? That is food for thought for you all.
I don't think there's anything else I can say that could top up what Lena has shared. That's the voice of a young lady, 25 lady involved, 25-year-old involved in campus politics. This is definitely, as she said, the generation, the upcoming generation. For the political aspirants in my crowd, and even the ones at home, somebody walked with you, somebody mentored you. So come down to the younger, because she's expressed that there's obviously a discord between the older female aspirants and the ones sitting and the younger ones. How will we bridge that gap? Who will step in? Who will step up? Who will walk with the young ladies so that they can make better generations and empower themselves for a better generation in the future of bigger and better women role models for our children to ape. So we have come to the end of today's very interactive and informative and insightful episode of Dadas. At this point, I would want to pose the question to you who is at home. Who is your aspiring female MCA? Do you know them? Who's your aspiring women women's rep? Who's your aspiring governor or even the presidential candidate? And what message would you like to give them? Fill us in on our social media pages, on our platform at Dada's Kenya, and we would really like to hear from you. So on behalf of my production team at KBC, our sponsor, Journalists for Human Rights, our fantastic location partner, Boma Hotel, and myself, Ashiko Mbune, I wish you all a lovely week, and remember to stay tuned. We will see you next week, same time, same place. Asante sana.